Fort Raleigh National Historic Site, North Carolina. The enigma of the lost colony, more than 400 years ago, Roanoke Island became the site of the Roanoke Colony, the first English settlement in North America. This colony is famously referred to as the Lost Colony, due to its mysterious abandonment in 1590, when the colonists vanished without a trace. This captivating mystery lies at the very heart of our nation's origins, representing a blend of hope, ambition, and uncertainty that characterized early colonial efforts. While we have detailed records of other early settlements, such as Jamestown and Plymouth, the fate of Roanoke remains shrouded in uncertainty, leaving historians and enthusiasts alike eager for answers. Historical context. A race for colonization. To fully appreciate the significance of Roanoke, we must consider the broader context of the late 16th century. England, during this period, was a relatively small and economically struggling island nation. The English were acutely aware of the immense wealth being amassed by Spain through its colonies in the Americas. Spanish ships frequently returned home laden with gold and other valuable commodities from territories such as Mexico, South America, and Florida. This wealth made Spain a formidable power in Europe, instilling fear among the English that without their own sources of wealth in the New World, they could become vulnerable to their rivals. In this climate of competition, the desire to establish colonies in North America was not merely a quest for adventure. It was a critical step for national survival and prosperity. The English crown was keen to invest in overseas ventures, driven by the promise of untapped resources. The challenge was not only to claim land but also to create sustainable settlements that could flourish in the face of myriad difficulties. The voyage to Roanoke. In 1587, John White, an accomplished English mapmaker and artist, was commissioned to lead a new colonization effort on Roanoke Island. This location had been claimed by a British expedition just 2 years earlier. After an arduous 2-month voyage across the Atlantic Ocean, White and 117 colonists, comprising men, women, and children, arrived on Roanoke Island, filled with hope and ambition. These colonists were primarily middle-class individuals from London, many of whom sought new opportunities in the New World. In England, owning land was synonymous with status and power, and this settlement offered a chance for social mobility. However, upon their arrival, the settlers quickly realized they were ill-prepared for the challenges of establishing a new home in a foreign land. They faced numerous obstacles, including a lack of supplies, insufficient knowledge of local agriculture, and the pressing need for additional settlers to ensure their survival and success. John White's return to England. Recognizing the dire situation, John White made the difficult decision to return to England to gather the necessary supplies and reinforcements. On August 25, 1587, just 3 months after their arrival, he set sail with the hope of returning within 6 months. However, unforeseen conflicts with the Spanish Navy and the onset of the Anglo-Spanish War delayed his return for 3 long years. This delay would have dire consequences for the colony. During White's absence, the situation on Roanoke Island grew increasingly precarious. The colonists were left to fend for themselves, and the challenges they faced, hostile encounters with local tribes, food shortages, and the struggle to establish a sustainable settlement, began to mount. The Native Americans in the region, including the Algonquin tribes, had their own complex social structures and territories, making the colonists' survival dependent on careful diplomacy and trade. The return and discovery of abandonment. When White finally returned to Roanoke Island in August 1590, he was optimistic upon seeing a fire on the shore, believing it signaled the colonists' welcome. However, his hopes were quickly dashed when he discovered that the settlement had been completely abandoned. All the houses were dismantled, and in their place stood a well-built fort that had not existed during his last visit. White's exploration of the area yielded no signs of the colonists. He searched for evidence of their fate, feeling a growing sense of dread. The absence of familiar faces was deeply troubling. Among the remnants of the settlement, he found a single clue that offered a glimmer of hope: the word Croatoan, carved into a wooden post. This word referred to both a nearby island, about 50 miles to the south, and the Native American tribe that inhabited it. White had previously instructed the colonists to leave a secret token if they decided to abandon the settlement, which he thought might be the answer to their fate. Despite this potential lead, White's plans to search for the colonists were thwarted when a fierce storm damaged his ship, forcing him to abandon his quest and return to England once more. Tragically, White was never able to return to the New World to uncover the truth behind the fate of the lost colony. Archaeological investigations and ongoing mysteries. In recent years, archaeologists have conducted extensive excavations on Hatteras Island, once known as Croatoan, in hopes of unraveling this 400-year-old mystery. The efforts to locate artifacts that could shed light on the colonists' fate have resulted in several intriguing discoveries. One of the most significant findings was a gold ring from the Elizabethan era, suggesting that at least one colonist might have made it to Croatoan Island. This finding ignited excitement and speculation about the possibility of survival and integration with the local Native American tribes. Another excavation team unearthed the hilt of an Elizabethan sword in a Native American village. This intriguing find raises further questions about the fate of the colonists. Did some survive long enough to establish relationships with the Croatoans? Did they assimilate into the local tribes, or did they meet a different fate? These artifacts provide tantalizing hints but no definitive answers. Despite extensive archaeological efforts, the absence of skeletal remains or clear evidence of violence leaves many questions unanswered. If the colonists had been attacked or suffered a catastrophic event, it is reasonable to expect some physical evidence, yet no bodies or signs of a siege have been found. This lack of clarity adds to the enduring allure of the Roanoke mystery. Theories about the disappearance. The fate of the Roanoke colonists has inspired countless theories over the centuries, each attempting to explain the sudden disappearance of over 100 individuals. Some historians suggest that the colonists may have moved to Croatoan Island voluntarily, seeking a more hospitable environment or better relations with the local tribes. This theory is bolstered by the carving of Croatoan itself, indicating that the colonists may have intended to signal their destination. Others propose that the colonists could have succumbed to illness, starvation, or conflict with Native Americans. The harsh realities of colonial life, disease, malnutrition, and the challenges of a new environment could have taken their toll. Yet without concrete evidence, these theories remain speculative. A darker theory posits that the colonists were victims of violence, either from hostile Native American tribes or rival European powers. The absence of evidence of a violent attack, however, complicates this narrative, as does the potential for cultural assimilation with the Croatoans. The role of indigenous peoples. Understanding the interactions between the Roanoke colonists and indigenous peoples is crucial to piecing together this mystery. The Algonquin-speaking tribes in the region had their own complex social structures and rich histories long before the arrival of Europeans. Relationships between the settlers and Native Americans were varied, ranging from trade and cooperation to conflict and misunderstanding. The colonists' survival would have depended heavily on their ability to navigate these relationships. Some theories suggest that the colonists may have formed alliances or intermarried with the local tribes, particularly the Croatoans, which could explain the lack of definitive evidence regarding their fate. This possibility highlights the complex dynamics of early colonial life and the resilience of both the settlers and the indigenous populations in the face of drastic change. The enduring legacy of Roanoke. The story of the lost colony at Roanoke Island serves as a compelling chapter in American history, embodying themes of exploration, survival, and the complexities of early colonial life. The enigma surrounding their disappearance raises profound questions about human resilience and the impact of cultural encounters in the New World. As researchers continue to dig into the past, the mystery of what happened to the Roanoke colonists endures, reminding us that history is often as much about the questions it raises as it is about the answers it provides. The allure of the lost colony lies not only in the mystery of their disappearance but also in the broader implications of their story for understanding the founding of America. Conclusion. The enduring mystery of the lost colony at Roanoke Island captivates the imagination, inviting us to reflect on the hopes and dreams of those early settlers who sought a new life in an unfamiliar land. Their story is a reminder of the complexities and challenges that characterized the early colonial experience. As we continue to explore the remnants of their journey, we find ourselves not just searching for answers about the past, but also contemplating the broader narratives of survival, cultural exchange, and the unyielding human spirit in the face of uncertainty. The enigma of Roanoke remains a poignant chapter in the story of America, inviting generations to seek understanding in the shadows of history.